Somewhere Adam Sandler just got hard.
My wallet sense is tingling.
He's like, what is that?
But Over the Top, the musical, would do really well. People would watch that. I guarantee.
I can't stop. I'm about to go over the top.
Yeah.
Oh, true. You're the only one wearing a hat, so you're the only one that could have done it, and you did it.
You did it. It writes itself.
You did not let us down. Hey, everybody, welcome back to another CineFix Now Roundtable. We're going to talk about a bunch of things, because damn, we've been busy, and we've missed some stuff.
Yes.
We've been sorely lacking in the CineFix Now department. I blame myself.
Change it to CineFix later.
CineFix, yeah.
CineFix whenever.
We're gonna,
CineFix nights.
We're going to officially change the name to CineFix sometime. What happened this week? One of the things, a lot of Deadpool stuff happened this week, right? We got an official picture of Deadpool on a bearskin rug, which was nice.
Yes.
We got this great Mario Lopez thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
amazing.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, I think what a great way to basically introduce the fact that they're doing an R and why they're doing an R.
Yeah.
And also what a great April Fool's thing too, right? I mean, it was amazing.
Yeah.
And Ryan Reynolds was in the suit.
Yes.
Which is awesome.
Anytime you can work in a you Slater.
Yeah.
I appreciated that. It was pretty good.
You know, I love the fact that they're really going for what seems like something incredibly close to the comic book, which is really exciting, being that all the people making it, they love Deadpool. I don't know, this little piece got me really excited. And also I feel like, you know, they hit upon something there with Mario Lopez, you know, his little thing, like, yeah, family friendly, right? Because that's what superhero movies are now, right? Like, it's a long time since, like, Blade 2, or whenever the last R-rated.
It's been some time since motherfuckers tried to ice skate up there.
Exactly.
It really has been a long time.
I love that line. It's so good.
Is always trying to ice skate.
God.
What
do you mean?
I have used that line in real life, by the way, to describe things. What, Punisher Warzone, maybe? Was that the last, like, R-rated, you know, big Marvel?
Kick-Ass,
like,
I mean, those are R,
Kick-Ass,
right?
I guess,
Yeah.
you're right. But overall...
Well,
Kingsman.
Kingsman.
Okay, so maybe it hasn't been that long. But for a major title from, like, Marvel or DC, it's been a long time. So it's pretty exciting.
So yeah, I mean, it's great that they're treating the character like the way that the character is portrayed in the books and everything. Do we even want, if Deadpool is a success, do we want that to translate into just more major R-rated comic book movies?
More Deadpool. Just lots more
well,
Deadpool.
Yeah, of course, more Deadpool.
I mean, I'm probably the minority, but what I love most about Deadpool doesn't necessarily push it into the R rating. And so this was never really a concern for me, because it's like I can go hear people say bad words anywhere.
Right.
And if you're building jokes off of just the fact that he's saying bad words, I'm not interested in that. That's not clever. Deadpool is better than that when he's not doing that. But it's nice that Fox is essentially giving them the freedom to do that. And this is a real labor of love for all of these people. And if Fox sort of steps out of the way long enough, maybe we'll get something great.
Yeah, you can tell Ryan Reynolds like really gives a shit.
Yeah.
Like every time he says anything about it, you can tell he's like, oh, that guy really wants to make this good.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I don't think it's necessarily even about the language, but the ability to have a lot of violence in it, because that is what Deadpool's about. You know, Deadpool's about a lot of blood, a lot of violence, and then mocking you that he's killed you. You know, slicing you into a whole bunch of bloody pieces, and then making fun of all the pieces.
Yeah, 100%. Like, you think of, like, Kingsman, you know, that amazing church scene. They could have never done that if it wasn't for an R rating. And, like, that kind of set piece that just goes all out and is super violent. It's the kind of thing you'd see in a Deadpool movie if it could be R. So I totally agree.
Also, I mean, just looking at Wade Wilson's face, it's kind of grotesque, because it's all, you know, chemical burned up from his cancer treatment not working.
Whatever.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
Whatever the official synopsis.
Yeah, whatever the backstory is that they're going to go with.
Well, there were some on-set photos that got released this week too. Did you see those with Ryan Reynolds in a hoodie with his face kind of?
Oh, with the f***ed up face?
Yeah, it's not that f***ed up. Like it looks like he's got that sort of like no eyebrows, hairless kind of vibe, and it's like a little sort of ragged and warty a little bit, but it doesn't look super gnarly. Because like finding panels in the comic books of him like screaming with his tongue out and like his face all up, like it's not quite there.
Yeah.
I would love if his face just gets more destroyed as the thing goes on.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but now he's got regenerative powers. You know, he didn't used to, and that's why his face starts off that screwed up. But,
right. So maybe looking at movies like The Kingsman and Kingsman wasn't entirely controversial. There were some people put off about it. I wouldn't call it controversial though. But
I'm actually surprised it was not as controversial.
Yeah, there were a few moments that I was literally a little bit in shock where I was like, whoa.
Well, the church scene literally made me go like, like in a good way.
Yeah.
It was
so
that
cool.
was a positive.
Well, the scene where certain world leaders, you know, stuff happens to them. I was like, how did the American Sniper fake baby get more press than this movie?
It's got a better PR agent.
Seriously.
That fake baby is going places.
That's since the creepy fake baby from Ally McBeal has there been such a famous fake baby.
Those first advancements in CG.
Yeah, they were beautiful.
So yeah, I mean, movies like that, and maybe it's a good sign that like a movie like The Kingsman didn't become a controversy, and we're okay with like hyper-violent comic book adaptations.
Yeah.
That are above, because PG, you can get away with so much violence in PG-13.
Yeah.
Just people dying left and right, so long as you don't see the blood.
Mm-hmm.
But a movie like The Kingsman being successful with the blood, like maybe that gives us a little more leeway with characters that deserve it.
It shows who the audience, that they actually know who their audience is, that it's not just kids anymore. Just because it's based on comic books doesn't mean that it's something that's for kids. Like, we watch them, we all love those movies, and we're certainly not kids anymore.
Well, and hopefully it speaks to some kind of, they're sort of clued into the fact that we as an audience like know our shit.
Yeah.
And it's like they can't sneak anything past us anymore. So it's like, well, we better do it right. And if that means an R rating, we'll do an R rating. But
yeah, I mean, Fox has they have X-Men, which is, big for them and their biggest franchise when it comes to superheroes. And I think Deadpool is their ability they can bring in more of an adult audience, but Deadpool is never going to be Captain America, Winter Soldier. It's never going to be Guardians of the Galaxy. It's never going to make that kind of money no matter what. So you might as well cater it as close to the fans as possible and make people want to see it than just try to do some weird, like what they do with Green Lantern, how they just made that thing like totally...
It's the most vanilla version.
It's just so generic, so terrible. And because they were like, let's check the boxes, let's make sure. Oh, it'd be great if when he's saving people, he makes some kind of cool loop-de-loo Matchbox car thing so we can sell that toy later on. This will be great, It's like a movie by, corporate committee, and it ended up being a giant piece of trash.
Yeah.
Well, it's also interesting to see how like regime changes in studios like change everything drastically, because 5-6 years ago, I mean, obviously it didn't happen 5 or 6 years ago. We got Wolverine Origins 5 or 6 years ago instead of the Deadpool movie. So it's like, it's interesting to see how a new guy in charge, all of a sudden it's like, yeah, go for it. Yeah. And it's like, okay, let's go. So that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, when the Deadpool, when the viral thing dropped, it got so much good attention, or not viral thing, but when it was leaked, whatever.
The test reel. Right?
Yeah, I mean, but it got so much good attention. Like everyone that saw it was like, this is the Deadpool movie that I want to see, and so it's like,
go do this right now.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it did speak to the studios in that way.
Hard to say no to that too. Yeah. And Tom Rothman, the guy who shut down Deadpool for the longest time, and who was largely responsible for Wolverine Origins, is now running Sony. So we'll see what that does to Spider-Man, specifically to Spider-Man. What else we got this week?
Ash versus...
Ash versus the Evil Dead.
Yes.
Okay, here's the thing. Ash versus the Evil Dead put a teaser trailer out this week.
Sort of.
And didn't it piss you off? Aren't we tired of teaser trailers like this?
I refuse to acknowledge them as anything.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, I get that, but they haven't started shooting yet, and they at least wanted to show something.
I mean,
but they didn't show anything, though.
But why bother?
Yeah.
Like, anybody who's excited for that knows that it's coming. By seeing a teaser trailer for that, all it does is make me angry.
For me, it's more like a poster. It's a poster that just happens to have some movement in it. But it's really just they pretty much just released a poster.
I feel like it said a lot though with sound design and animation, because the trees like showing up. Like if you've seen Evil Dead, you know what the trees are about. So like, oh, this is gonna be a little creepy. And then him at the end with the buzzsaw, Army of Darkness. I'm like, I don't know. For me, it did sort of tell the story of like we are doing exactly what you hope we're doing, just with sound effects and animation. I know that might be a little cheesy, but
so it actually did get a message across to you.
For me, it did. For me, it did, because I was like surprised, because the tree thing is the most controversial thing in that franchise. I was like really surprised that was a big part of the design of the logo. So we'll see. I'm just excited about it. But yeah, I know.
I mean, it was like a GIF or a GIF.
However you want to, I'll give you either one.
I'm not saying it's the greatest thing I've ever seen. I'm just saying, I'm not mad at it. It's like,
well, but I mean, it's those things where, and maybe this is just how all of the blogs like headline their articles. It's like, hey, there's an Ash vs. the Evil Dead trailer, and for the, like, 4.5 seconds, I was like, let's go, and then it was just this thing, and I'm like, damn it.
Damn
that I understand.
I mean, to a lesser extent, because I wasn't excited about a Cinderella movie. But remember the first Cinderella teaser that was just the shoe?
Oh God!
It was
really?
just the glass slipper.
That made a lot of people very excited.
Yeah,
a lot of the wrong people.
a lot of the wrong people. But that's the thing. Like, I don't understand who. Like, it doesn't bring anybody new.
Right.
To the show.
Yeah.
You know? Like, we all know what it is, and
it's like weirdly for the fans, but it's an air sandwich. Like, in my opinion, there's nothing. I mean, I guess it resonated more for you with like that, but it's like there's nothing there. Like, just wait. Like, at least get to the point where you can take an on-set photo.
Yeah.
Like the Deadpool thing, like him in the costume on the bear rug. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Right. Because I'm like, yeah, you're getting it, you got the tone, everything is there in just one image, and I'm not sort of being tricked into thinking I'm going to see like a snippet of something, and it's...
Or like the thing they did with Spectre, where they just released the picture of Daniel Craig like in that mock turtleneck, looking like a badass. I'm like,
yeah,
that's it, that's the one.
Yeah,
that's the James Bond I've been waiting for.
I am slightly playing devil's advocate because I remember in the office, Anna's like, "Hey, watch the Evil Dead thing." And I was like, "Oh, it's just a graphic." But I was like, "I'll watch it anyway." And I saw it, I liked it. But I know what you mean.
But that was just it. I mean, I had the same reaction as you. I thought it was a trailer.
Right.
And then you're like, it's just a graphic. I'm like, really?
Yeah. Especially because like they didn't announce it that long ago. I didn't
Yeah.
think that they were shooting. Not that I've been keeping tabs on it or
They
anything.
haven't
But
even
like,
shot yet. Yeah.
but yeah, it's there's that split second where you're like, whoa, cool surprise for a Thursday afternoon, and then never mind.
It's funny though. I remember this from like way back. I remember when the first X-Men movie came out. I feel like they had just like the X door or like the symbol X-Men came out. It's like a 15-second teaser, like way back in what 99 or 2000, whatever that movie came out.
Yeah, well, the very first poster for that was the door going into Cerebro. I remember being all excited about that.
Back in '99, that was the most video we could put on the internet.
That's true. I have a distinct memory of watching the episode 1 trailer online.
Yeah.
That seemed like the future. That was like, can you believe we can do this? Everyone stop! We're watching this.
Drop what you're doing and watch this other kind of TV real quick.
Stop for an hour while it loads.
Now I know people complaining that like they have to go to a movie to see a trailer. Like I'm like, it's gonna be online like, the same day. Like no, it's not fair.
I've gotten to the point where it's like if I'm in a theater and then a trailer comes up and then people are like reacting to the trailer as though this is the first time they've seen it, I'm like, the is wrong with you?
Totally.
Like, why have you not seen this 3 or 4 times already?
Yeah.
Don't you love movies?
Yeah, what the hell? Isn't your job to pay attention to what trailers come out?
Speaking of trailers, I gotta be honest, this Mad Max campaign has been one of the best things I've ever seen.
They're going so arty.
Oh, they're amazing.
Dude, I'm so excited. I don't even care if there's any story whatsoever to that movie at all.
Well, it seems like this new one, there is slightly more of a story than they've ever shown.
Yeah, but I don't care if it's there.
Yeah, exactly.
The movie is beautiful.
It is a fire opera.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for it.
Yeah. It looks and like what's amazing is we're now in the 3rd trailer of like, quickly cut trailers, and you're still seeing new stuff, which is pretty amazing. Because when you think about those trailers, they're like rapidly cut.
Yeah.
And it's not that
I
we
don't
don't
see any more either.
I know. Yeah. Well, this. Is the
I
third
almost
one,
didn't
I
want to watch the
suppose.
last one because it's like I'm there, guys. I'm
We're
ready.
almost there. We're
Like,
almost there. It comes out in like 6 weeks. So I think we're in the window where if you want to avoid things, now's a good time to start.
Yeah.
The last trailer leans a little bit on like the mythology like of the world a little bit, and that was always my thing with Mad Max, with the original Mad Max is like it's crazy.
Yeah.
That movie is bad shit. Like, and Beyond Thunderdome is more bad shit. And, like,
Yeah.
They're weird as hell, crazy movies.
And there's pig shit. It's an important bit in Thunderdome.
Yeah. It's a truly bizarre world, and this was the first, and we get a taste of that with what's his name, like Immortal Joe or whatever the guy's name with the big
Immortan
jaw.
Joe, yeah. Who, by the way, I believe is played by the same actor who played Toe Cutter in the first Mad Max.
Oh, well, good for him.
Which is pretty awesome.
Good to know he's still getting work.
Yeah, well, as long as George Miller,
as long as George Miller's doing it.
Yes, he was the 3rd penguin to the left in Happy Feet.
But like, Yeah, but so the story seems to, if the story is just this guy's like, where are they taking these girls I've kidnapped that have chastity belts, apparently.
Yeah.
If that's the story, and then it's just a race across the desert for 90 minutes, God, it's going to be so good.
It'll be a really exciting, awesome race.
Yeah, it seems like an interesting sort of take on Road Warrior, where the whole idea was getting the petrol from one point to another. This is like, saving the chicks, taking them from one point to another to get away from this main bad guy, and I guess, I don't know, maybe they need Max. Max looks sort of like Mad Mardigan and Willow, he's like captured. They need to release him because he's mad and you can help him out.
Seems to be a good guy who's like captured and then sort of begrudgingly starts helping.
Yeah.
But the cool thing that happened this week with Mad Max, though, is that Tom Hardy revealed that he's actually signed up for 3 more Mad Max movies.
Wow.
Not 3 total, as there were 3 more. That doesn't mean they're going to make them. They're not greenlit or anything. I imagine if Mad Max comes out and flops, then it'll just go away forever.
Yeah.
But if it comes out and does gangbusters, which hopefully it does, then we'll probably immediately get another trilogy that they'll go and shoot like back to back to back or whatever.
I think this is really cool, but also scares me a little bit because didn't this movie take like 5 years to make?
I was just going to say that.
This movie took forever to make, and I feel like I don't want Tom Hardy's entire rest career just be Mad Max movies.
Yeah, well, and you think about like, if they do shoot 3 movies at a time, thinking about like how long Viggo Mortensen and everybody was off the map for doing Lord of the Rings, and we didn't know who Viggo Mortensen was yet. But we love Tom Hardy right now, and to take him out, in his prime for like a year and a half, 2 years or whatever to shoot these 3 movies, that would kind of be.
Well,
so hopefully they space him out a little bit.
Especially because as far as I'm concerned, he would be the best guy to replace Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Like, I can't imagine anyone else better than him.
Jack Courtney.
We're talking about
You mentioned him, by the way, this time.
We're talking about who should, not who will.
Oh, God. Okay. Can you
not
imagine?
who will inevitably replace him. We're talking about who should.
As much as I defend Jai Courtney on this show, which is odd to begin with, I would not be cool with him being Wolverine. That would be too weird.
No.
I just don't think that would,
I'd like them to go with the short Wolverine like he is in the comics.
Yeah.
It's always fun when he's so tough and vicious, but he's such a short guy. There's something so fun about that.
I always really loved the idea of the Bob Hoskins Wolverine. Like, they were going to make an X-Men movie back in like '86 or something like that, and Bob Hoskins was going to be Wolverine.
Really?
Yeah, and that was like perfect, right?
That is so cool.
I remember people wanting Jack Nicholson because of that movie Wolf.
Yeah.
He's
already been a wolf. Let's do it.
It's like, you just keep the same hair. No big deal.
Forgetting for a minute that a wolf and a Wolverine are 2 very different
Yeah,
animals.
exactly. Yeah, I mean, I remember when I was...
animals.
Both animals. Where'd my cigar go?
I remember when I was a kid, like, Wolverine was like the patron saint of short guys. Like, little guys that were stocky were like, Wolverine! They get like tattoos on their ankles of Wolverine because he was such a badass, but he was always so tiny. He was like 5'2" or something. And then they hire Hugh Jackman. He's the tallest guy in X-Men. I actually remember when he got hired, people being angry because he was tall.
He was tall.
And like, no one remembers that now, but...
Well, also, prior to being cast as Wolverine, he was curly in Oklahoma. Like, that was the job he had immediately before the first X-Men movie.
Yeah. But that was also, think about that though, the internet was still early enough that not enough people knew that. Right. If they cast Curly from Oklahoma now to be X-Men, people will go ballistic.
Lose their until he would be the best Wolverine of all time.
And then we would all have to write apology letters again. No, like after Heath Ledger.
Exactly.
No, we wouldn't have to apologize for anything. We just have to listen to the people that were like, I said he'd be good. I said he'd be good from the start. I called it. F you guys. Which I'd rather not listen to those people. So I'll just keep my mouth shut about it.
Can I just say real quick that
Sure.
I've been following Suicide Squad casting. It seems like they're casting every single DC character possible in this movie.
Yeah.
Like they already have, like Captain Boomerang, and they already have the Joker.
Killer Croc is in there.
Yeah.
Killer
too.
Croc they just cast. I think Adewale Akinwumi Agbaje is going to play him.
That was impressive.
Thank you.
Thank you, Psych.
And
Was
also
that
on
a
top of
name?
that, Mr. Echo from Lost. And they got a boxer to play King Shark. They got a girl they think is going to play Plastique. I mean, it's just amazing. Yeah. There's like now like at least 11, 12 DC characters
the
now.
fact is, it's a Suicide Squad. They need people that are expendable.
That's true.
In some ways, isn't this an arms race for actors? Because it's
yeah.
like, if we don't cast them and lock them into something, Marvel will.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, well, that's how I felt about when they cast Tom Hardy was the straw that broke the camel's back when the first casting of Suicide Squad. I thought, because I thought he's such a like up and comer. He's so like right there right now that I was like, that's odd that he's in this ensemble where he's going to kind of get buried by everybody else, and I think that's part of the reason why he left. On top
and
of
they
other
lost
stuff.
him, and now they're just like quantity over quality now. They're just like, put everybody in there. We don't have a Tom Hardy.
I think they're realizing, I'm really excited for it because they're doing the weirdest stuff. It almost feels like more what DC is doing with their CW shows, where they set up Arrow and Flash, and now they're doing a spin-off that's going to be Arrow and Flash characters in this spin-off. And, it's like they already, are you caught up on Flash at all?
I am.
They're already kind of like, making Captain Cold more of an anti-hero character, a little less of a villain now, so they can segue to this.
A truce has been formed.
Exactly. And, can I just say, too, Flash might be the best superhero TV show I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm just gonna put that
You don't
out
have
there.
to ask to say it.
It's amazeballs right now. It's so freaking good. But I feel like DC, their strength has always been, I think, things like their TV shows and their animated movies. So I think that's what Suicide Squad feels like. It feels like everything. They're trying to connect everything now, like. Well, I guess you could say like Marvel, but what they've done previously on their TV shows.
Well, and you gotta wonder if it's. I mean, think back to like X-Men 3, The Last Stand. Think about like every X-Men character that has ever been was in that, but they were in it for like 2.5 lines, or they were just in the background. It's like we cast so and so as what's her face. And then she's just in the background of one scene, and then now we have another Jubilee who's going to be in Apocalypse. So it's like
I'm the Juggernaut, bitch.
Why do you make us think of this movie?
Jesus.
Why?
Well, it doesn't exist anymore. You're right.
Yeah,
I should apologize.
And they like add in a Sentinel head. See, we put Sentinels in this movie.
That's another thing you can thank Tom Rothman for, not having Sentinels in movies.
Oh, there you go.
No big robots. This is Rubber Stamp.
Was he the one who wanted giant spiders? I'm so confused.
I don't know.
No, that's a different
guy. That's a different guy. But yeah, I mean, so Suicide Squad has everybody in it, and I'm curious to see how much they're in it. And it's the same thing with Dawn of Justice too, because there's a lot of people that deserve a lot of screen time that just aren't gonna get it.
Yeah.
I mean, they can't unless it's a 4-hour movie, which is entirely possible.
It's gonna be a bunch of walk-ons. I'm Nightwing.
Oh!
I hope they don't do a whole bunch of stuff like you're a real Aquaman.
Oh God!
And then that's how they get. Yeah, that's.
I do want to mention another thing I just thought of. This is really weird. Have you guys ever been excited about a movie up until a point where we're thinking was going to be the worst thing ever, and now you're kind of like, I don't know. I'll tell you what. So the last
wait.
Yeah.
Clear that up completely.
Okay.
Excited for a movie that you thought was going to be the worst thing ever.
I don't know that you actually said anything.
I did not say anything. Sorry, I'm getting off cold. Okay. So. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the last one.
Wait. What are we talking about, though?
I'm talking about the Teenage.
Oh, I know where this is.
Yeah. Okay. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the last one. I hated, right? And then they just cast somebody as Casey Jones, and now I'm excited.
Yeah.
And it's Stephen Amell from Arrow.
Arrow.
I mean, that's really surprisingly good casting for a very bad franchise as at the moment.
Yeah. So what you were asking is. Have you ever become really excited about the sequel to a movie that you hated?
There you go.
Yeah. Okay.
There you go. Roundtable topic.
Question to the room.
Yes.
Anybody?
The only one that I can think of is Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo.
I was so disappointed with Breakin'.
Yeah.
It just transcends the premiere Breakin' in literally every way I can think
But does
of.
Breakin' 2 have Van Damme?
That's true. Breaking 1 does have Van Damme in it. You got to remember that.
He
really
chews up
cool
that
units
scenery
are.
like no one.
I actually did think of one, and I guess up for debate, but I feel like Wolverine is better than X-Men Origins Wolverine.
See, now we're getting into a weird territory because I would
Mm.
qualify that as part of a franchise
Instead
of part of a
Gotcha.
sequel. Like it's certainly not the same situation as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2.
Right.
Which I still don't like. I'm glad that they cast Stephen Amell because I think he's pretty good. What I'm worried about is we're going to get a Casey Jones that's exactly like Arrow.
Oh.
Because when I saw that, I was like, oh, they probably said like, hey, we want you to be Casey Jones. But, the Arrow.
Don't change a thing.
What you're doing on the Arrow is what we want. and we don't want to get a poor man's you. We're just gonna get you.
Well, it was.
In the first one, the one thing that they got right was how the characters should act. You know, the movie was terrible, but they got the personalities of the characters right.
I 100% agree. The Turtles were the best part of a really shitty Turtles movie.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that maybe they'll be able to do the same with Casey Jones, that they will actually get his personality
Isn't this one supposed to have Bebop and Rocksteady too?
Yeah, that's the rumor. That's the rumor. Maybe even Crane.
Getting sweeter.
Right. All I know is Casey Jones will probably be wearing Under Armour, much like William Shatner in that movie, and it'll be great. Titleist clubs all around.
No, old Titleist.
Old
Titleist he found.
I
am excited about Casey Jones. He was always one of my favorite.
Yeah.
And every time I ever saw Elias, like I was watching The Thin Red Line going like, Casey Jones is here. All right.
Any word on Krang?
No Krang.
No.
It's the only one I care about.
I know.
I don't care about Baxter Stockman. I don't care about Casey Jones.
Yeah.
Give me Krang and that weird like plastic sex bot.
Just
like floats in the tummy of.
Yeah.
Just a brain riding in some weird dumb machine.
I agree though. The world they've created is so cartoony already that you might as well go for that.
Yeah.
Do it.
Got to wait for number 3.
Put the Technodrome underground.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
I want Usagi
Yes, please.
Yojimbo. The samurai rabbit. Let's do it.
I don't even remember that.
Oh yeah,
Amazing.
Usagi Yojimbo.
Are you sure that's a real thing?
Oh
Is
yeah,
that
It is so
he had his
real
own
thing.
comic book and everything. Yeah. He was rad.
He was legit popular.
That's like a Mike Tyson's Punch Out kind of offensive name.
You know what I'm hoping?
Soda Popinski and
Oh yeah. That's the problem. Punch Out's one of my favorite games ever, but every
It's so
character is
racist.
so offensive.
Oh, it's so offensive.
To every culture and every creed. I hope, like we're talking about like maybe Mask was going to be the villain's new G.I. Joe movie.
Yeah.
I hope they really just like put their money down and have like Ninja Turtles versus Battletoads. Can we just make this happen? Because everyone's wanted to know for years how that would come out.
yeah.
Let's just do it.
It's fine until you get to that level that you have to go past all those rocks.
Oh, the one
And
that
then
you just
all
can't
the
get past?
Battletoads die.
Yeah. Just like Double Dragon 2, there's that one level I just couldn't get past with the vanishing steps.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't
That's
get up to that door. It's terrible.
You think your Bloodborne is hard? You think your Bloodborne is hard?
You try having only A and B and then having to time it perfectly, and then your controller kind of be because it's kind of shitty, and it's like, I'm pushing it, but he's not jumping. Look, I didn't want to go that old. We really just showed our age, I think.
And underlying personal issues.
Yeah. A lot of weird stuff
Old
going on,
demons.
so I feel like that's a good spot to end it. Thank you, guys, for roundtabling today. Let us know what you guys think about all this stuff down in the comments below. What did we talk about? Talked about Deadpool, talked about Ash vs. Evil Dead, and how teaser trailers are kind of bull, but maybe they're not if you're really into the thing. And also offensive, racist Nintendo games from way back in the day.
I like to think that it's a choice that you're fighting racist stereotypes.
That's true.
I feel so much better about Mike Tyson's Punch Out now.